Okay, now I'm going to talk about a different approach, a different thought of life. I mean, from a um, religious philosophical point of view, life that is more complex, like man's life, is more valuable than animals. We can eat animals, all right? Most religions would say that. Most of them, not all of them, but we can eat animals and we can have dominance over them, and they make good food. I like steaks, and that's just the way it is. So, all right. So we have this capability. So we're the top dogs, and we have the technology. Why don't we get use of it? And there's obviously a lot of positive sales of going out there as a man and not as a craft or as a robot. We can send a robot out as a probe and get information back. The electronics are, we don't have to worry about preserving the electronics, and we can get information back, and we can have robotic probes, which we've done. We've sent robots to Mars. We've sent robots into the far reaches of the solar system. We sent them beyond the solar system. We sent these things out there from the Voyager down to the current crafts that are on Mars right now, the Mars Science Mars Science, whatever it is, the Mars Science thing. The current Mars, we have the Spirit rover, the Opportunity rover, and the Mars Science Laboratory, I believe it's called. So we have these things, and they give us a lot of information. It's not the same as being there, but there's a lot less risk because if it goes bad, we don't lose life. We don't lose the astronaut's life. We don't have the experience of being there other than through virtual reality. We have the delay of commands. We don't have the instant experience because of the distance of time. There's a certain amount of time it takes for commands to get to and from you know the speed of light, speed of electromagnetic impulses, radio waves, to get the information to and from Mars. So we have like was a 14-minute delay or something, on average or something like that. So we have these things that are a thing. So it's not the same as being there, but it's a lot safer. So we have these robotic ways that we can go somewhere. But my idea is, well, I'm talking about getting life, having life at other, putting the value of putting life somewhere else. So one of the things from a religious dogma point of view, there was a early command which was be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth. In other words, we're going to have procreation things happening. We're going to create more of us, and more animals and plants are going to create and fill the earth. And that's a dogmatic point of view, right, of these things growing. But it's a factual thing that happens. Obviously, we still have the creation of biosphere, and we have, prolific life creates life. So you have this thing that happens. Now let's think about, for a minute, let's think about what the evolutionary scientific viewpoints of life is and what life is. And life is something that evolves over time and comes from a simple organism and allows complex organisms to arise out of it. There's also some things that have been observed in which are things like amino acids in the building blocks of life have been found in certain rare carbon meteorites that have carbon in them that have fallen to the earth, and they have amino acids in them from space, and these amino acids could be the building blocks of necessary elements for life to evolve. So there's some theory that some have. There's some facts and theory that some type of meteorites could have arrived on Earth and been a type of possible seed to help life start. Interesting thing. There's also theories of comets that it might have put a lot of water on the Earth, and a lot of the water from the Earth came from comets. Where the water came from originally is something they don't really get into, but the idea is that things arrive on Earth that help Earth and become more a better planet, more able to sustain life. And some of these things might have even come from space. So it's a great thing when talking about comets and meteorites and meteors, that these other things came and helped seed and became a part of Earth. And we can go into the evolution of the Earth through stellar evolution and the protoplanetary disk and how Earth was formed. We can go into all those theories and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, we have an iron core, we have a magnetosphere, we have a cradle of biodiversity civilization that exists that allows this environment of the survival of the fittest to exist. Now, when we go to another planet, the further away it is, the longer our trip and the more energy we need for the vessel. If we send a complex arc, we need a bigger and bigger vessel the further we go. Because we have to have a civilization that's living as we go. We have to have biodiversity. We have to essentially create um, a mini planet, a huge space station that can survive and we can live in our generations of more Earthlings can grow, and procreate through an artificial Earth that's traveling through space, through dark, deep space, and it's going at a high rate of speed toward a nearby star. So we're gonna land on some nearby star with this huge thing. What if it was the size of the Enterprise, aircraft carrier? How long, how far could you go? What are the implications of that? Well, there's a lot of implications I want to point out. One of the things is you can't have many breakdowns. You're gonna be going at such a high rate of speed. When you hit something, your craft could be destroyed by hitting something. You're going to go through like an Oort cloud, right? You're going to go through more than one Oort cloud. You're going to go through an Oort cloud around the nearby star system. You're going to have this huge expanse of space that's completely dark. It's very cold. You have to travel through that, and you're going to have all of your energy from a nuclear reactor of some sort that's going to provide energy for all the light inside of your craft, everything mechanical, anything that breaks down, everything has to be recycled with 100% efficiency. You can't have heat sinks that create any kind of waste that's going to allow the matter to be depleted over time, because you have a vast amount of time. You have to have a certain amount of depletion of matter or excess or waste resources that can go out. In some scenarios, people say, well, we can get rid of waste. It's stupid to get rid of waste. You want to recycle waste. So you have to have enough species to recycle waste from one to the other to have a biological chain. And every sink of energy has to be met by the energy of the nuclear reactor for the trip. And everything that breaks down has to be repairable. It has to be completely independent. And you have this isolation in this trip. And when you finally get to this other star system, which hopefully would be very close, you have to find this planet and land, right? You have to land and be able to like find a planet that's inhabitable and start a new life on a new Earth somewhere else. It's the thing of sci-fi, obviously. It's the more you think about it, the more comical it is. It's way more fiction than science. Now, science, can go forward with something that seems sci-fi. You can go on that path, but it's totally. There are so many. I mean, if we go back to the thing of taking an enterprise-sized craft, meaning an aircraft carrier-sized craft, and having it um, go to the moon or to Mars, and to have enough supply so you can live there, let's say forever, because you want to live there forever. All right, if the Earth, let's say the Earth's destroyed, you want to have mankind establish a base there. Well, what you're going to have is you're going to have a base that maybe might last, I don't know how long, but I would say less than a generation. You might have a couple